お、そうですね。セラムとか言って、いろいろ言ってたんで、まあ、あれ全部、毒の対策の、まあ、毒の対策として基本的に、血清とかそういうのを使って、まあ、ケアする場合が多いですと。という話でしたね。まあ、ざっくりですけど。おそうっす。まあ、一応ね、そういう勉強はしましたから、医学用語はだいぶ頭にはまだ残ってるんで、一応聞いてて全部わかってるっていう。ただ、日本語訳はできないから、雑把にしか説明できないっていう僕のね、頭の医療知識は全部英語でしかないので、日本語では知識入ってないんで、訳せないんですよね。日本語で勉強してないですもん。はい。てんてんてんてん。ちなみにテトリスバージョン1.0の A タイプは、コロブチカではありません。エリートだから、エリートじゃないよ別に今。大学中退だからね。どうなんでしょうね。日本語で医学を学ぶの日本ぐらい、そりゃそうでしょ。母国語ですからね。あの、なんかね、千葉大が英語で授業始まったらしいですけど、無理でしょ。はっきり言うよ。無理だよ。はっきり言うよ。あの、だって、2つの言語で覚えるって結構きついっすよ。まあちょっとやってみたけど、結構大変ですよ。知識のないところやるの。でも、日本の大学、そんなに試験が難しくないんだったらいいかもしれないですけど、僕らの行った大学、地獄だったんで、え、あの、一応いつも見てるのは、医学雑誌も一応、まあ、医学雑誌は買えないんで、基本的にニュートンだったりなんだりかんだりみんな英語の記事で読んでますよ。なんで怖いんだろう。説明するのにわからないってことか。そういった意味で怖いっていうのかな。いやでもね、これしないとやばいんですよ。時代が。日本がもう遅れすぎてる、医療関係は。正直医療関係は本当日本は遅れすぎてるんで、まあ機材とかは最新ですけど、その世界の研究結果が追いつい結構進んでるんで、そういうのを勉強するのにもう英語必須ですから、どうしようもないよね。ちなみにテラ、ね、名前テラってなってるんですけど、ティナです。ティナの名前はテラになってます。かわいそう。うん、基本的にもう海外てか論文も全部基本ロシアンレイドハロー。今レイド来ましたね。レイドっつって、レイドっていうのはリストリームサイト同士で見てる人が交流しましょうっていうねやつがそういうツイッチのね、ツイッチ独自のコミュニケーションがあります。あとは あとはまあ海外行かなくても要は海外行った長くいた人とかそういう人がやっぱり率先してカパ think about カパ nothing doesn't care so no angry no fears just using レイちっちゃいレイドレイドしますか？じゃあ僕らも僕らもレイドしますか？Oh, thanks. You love Japanese culture. Then you study ninjutsu. What kind of ninjutsu you learn? 乗り込みするか？ただ気をつけてください。僕が最初にやらないとバンされます。僕がレイドって言いに行くんで、言いに行くのを確認してからやってください。そうじゃないとバンされます。マジです、これだけ気をつけないと危ないんで、これ言っときます。はい。だから僕がレイドって言うからみんなバンしないでいいんですけど、ただ闇雲に勝手に行くと見切り発車をバンされます。はい。なのでちゃんと僕がレイドだ、ジャパニーズレイドって書いたらバーっていくんですね。そういうノリです。これだけは絶対守ってください。もしやるにしても絶対にこれだけは守らないとコメントが一切できなくなります。バンクラなので。で後から説明しても若干手遅れ感あるんで、レイドっていうのは今僕たちこれジャパニーズ日本語の再配信してますけど、他のサイトに要は放送にコミュニケーション取りに行くっていう行為をレイドっていうんですけど、これ海外では割とよくあるコミュニケーションの一つとしてあります。そのツイッチではね、ツイッチ上のコミュニケーションの一つであります。日本語で出てなかった。ごめん。切ってた。
We have an anonymous $5 donation that says, Yo Zem, good luck with the run, you deserve it, try not to get distracted on Belden 2. Therefore, let's get right to that run. Here we go with Ratchet and Clank, all That's gold bolts, with Zem.
It is now.
It is now.
うるせえ。俺のマイク、俺が超うるせえ。やべえこれ。
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? Are we good?
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we're just gonna start. Actually, we should do a roll call. We have a lot to talk about, so we're gonna do a roll call before we start. I think that'll be the best idea. So I'm Zem. I've done a few of these here now, a few different Ratchet categories, and now I'm doing Ratchet 1.
レイドはまた後で考えましょう。ちょっと文章を考えてみます。
I'm Spike Vegeta. This is my thumb.
I'm Jay Hobbs. What's up?
I'm Tones Balones, and I created this game.
And this is Blakester.
クリエイター？
He also runs some.
クリエイター？
That's awesome, man. All right, let's go.
All right, here we go. So the way it works, we start on when I gain control of Ratchet. So I'm going to load the file, then count down from 4, and then when I hit 0, we start.
ラチェット&クランクってプレステ3だっけ？
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, all right.
So, kind of the first thing here is this game's called Ratchet and Clank, but you're not two people. Right now, you're just one person, you're Ratchet. This is Belden that he's on, Ratchet's home planet, and as you can see, he's doing a lot of side flips. Basically, he's just getting a little bit of extra, distance each side flip. It's just a little bit faster than kind of normal walking. And you'll see them a lot in the early game, and then a little bit
PS
again later,
アーカイブなんだ。なるほど。
but kind of they'll make a disappearance for a little bit, I think. And right now he's just kind of making his way through the planet to go get Clank. The main object of the game is kind of like any amazing PS2 like adventure, just save the world.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
So that's already the first planet finished. So we get
Damn.
That was
Clank.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
Great,
Yeah.
Velden. Gold tools.
I couldn't have even done that. So there's two main things. So the category we're running today, or rather Zem's running today, is all gold bolts, which are the main kind of major collectible within this game. There are 40 gold bolts.
One quick thing. Here's river
Yeah.
skip.
It might look mundane,
All
but
right.
skip the river.
Yeah.
Skip the river.
Yeah.
he's at the end of the planet. now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of an important thing to note about pretty much all the Ratchet and Clank games is they usually design their planets so that you end up near your ship
Hi,
when
friend.
you finish
Friends.
the planet.
Yeah.
What that means is for a
Fresh to
speedrun,
touch.
your
Crush.
exits are right near your entrances, which means a lot of planets you can just actually glitch your way or use a very simple river skip and jump straight to
や
the
ばい、う
end.
るせえ。
So a couple things to note about this particular planet. This and the next planet both have global cycles, which means that I have to make these cycles up here. Oh, this is going to be a tricky one. I don't think I'm going to make it. And all right, that's fine. I went for it. I knew I wasn't going to make it, but you got to do it anyway.
Now you get a fun water slide.
So the thing about these cycles is that they start from the very beginning of the planet. So if you don't
ラチェッ
move
ト
quickly
クラン
enough
クやっ
throughout
た
the
ことないから
planet,
わ
you're
か
not
ん
gonna
ない
make the cycle. And as soon as I had like a little bit of slow movement at the river skip like right after there, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. So another big thing about this is that bolts are really important for the first few sections of the game. And here's the first gold bolt.
Yeah.
There we
there
go.
it is.
All
Nice.
right.
All right.
So this is what he's going to be getting 40 of throughout the entire run.
Yeah. And so what I was going to say, bolt RNG is a really important thing in this game. So the way that you collect bolts is that every crate I break has a min value and a max value, and you tend to get anywhere in between. All right, that's fine. I
Yeah, yeah.
messed that up. That's cool.
使いましょう。日本語どんどん
Any-
使っていきましょう
Any。crate will have any number between the min and the max. And
観
so
客
a
増えま
big
した
part
ね
of。this is that I need to have 1,000
みんな
bolts
待
by
って
the
たん
time
で
I
すか
hit
ね。
a section into the next planet. So I'm going to spend 500 here. So as you can see, I have 900 right now. I'm going to have about 1,100 by the time I hit the next room. So when I spend the 500, I'll have 600. And
カメ
I
ラ
should
仕
be
事
good
し
for the
ない
next
もんですか
part. But what's important is that I'm only going to be killing one enemy at the beginning of the next planet. And so if he gives me a bad bolt roll, then I need to pick up some backup bolts, which ends up messing up some of these global cycles. So RNG matters a little bit. It matters a lot less in the late game because there's so many crates available that you can just break whatever you want.
Yeah, it ends up being a ton of bolts that he has to collect throughout the run. After that, he just the 500 he just spent there. Everything else is going to cost anywhere between 1,000 and 7,500, and there's like 10 or so purchases throughout the game. So lots of routing involved there.
How many times
Oh,
has
remake.
bolts ruined a run for you?
I want to say maybe one of every like 5 or 6 runs gets killed because of this particular spot up here. It's pretty rare, but all it takes is one bad bolt roll, and that's it.
Yeah, and these bolts are used for both purchasing weapons and sometimes upgrades to Clank. But they're also used
オリジナルの方がいいん
sometimes
だ。
to purchase coordinates to the next
ほう。
planet. You know, sometimes you need to bribe somebody or just straight up pay them.
So this is
はい、
the enemy
今
thing
ラ
up
チェ
here,
クラ
the
タイム
big
ですね。
helicopter, and he drops so many bolts. So let's see if I can get over 1,000 with him.
Remember, wrenches kill helicopters.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're at 1,100. That's really good. That means I got decent RNG. And so I'm going to be spending 1,000 right here to get the helipack. And the helipack is our bread and butter for this game because it gives us all of our movement
ジャンプしか
options.
してない。
So if you guys want to explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it.
Yeah, so he's going to be picking up the helipack from Al here, and then he's immediately going to be able to start long jumping and high jumping, as well as he can still do some of the same moves in tech, like doing side flips and canceling them with a hyper strike. You'll
まあ
see him
結
do
構
a
集まって
lot
きましたね
of
人がね。
these long jumps, and there are ways in this game to kind of chain them together, called neutral long jumps, by releasing the analog stick as you initiate your long jump, and then just leaving
Pacifist.
it released and just doing long jumps over and over.
So you can see right here, I can just take my hand off and I'll start gaining speed the more I chain them together. Do some side flips here.
で
Staircase,
ネジを
and
集める
now
理由は
we'll
何
go
です
over
か
to
ね
this
これ
section right here to grab a couple bolts as well as this gold bolt right up here. And the way that this game functions at the higher levels is that you need to go out of your way as little as possible to grab the bolts that you need. So a lot of the routing that we've done in this category has been to see what we need to break, what gives us the most bolts for the time that it takes to break them. And so I grabbed like around 100 right there, and now I can continue on.
分かってないか
It's
ら
gonna be a
ダメ
lot of
大変だよね
little bolt breaking throughout the early game.
Yeah, and as you can tell, Ratchet can wall jump, but you need to do that hyper strike at the end there just to get high enough for the
Oh.
surface to not count as curved. Lets
So-
him just avoid kind of walking around.
First big skip coming up here is going to be train skip.
お金がねえし
What I'm going to do is I'm going to long jump over here.
なるほ
I'm
ど
going to. There's supposed to be a cutscene that activates when you land here, but I'm going to
そう
short
ね
hop to avoid activating
金
the
の
cutscene.
ボルトを
I'm
全
gonna
部
land, activate it. That guy shoots a missile,
取る
and
っ
when
て
it
いう
hits me, I'm able to
カテゴ
move
リー
during
で
this
すので
cutscene.
Normally, you have to stay completely stationary during this, but as you can see, he's just moving along.
So the goal here is to not die. Okay, and then get over here.
遠いな
There we go.
画面
Okay.
この画面遠いなやりづらいね
We'll see a lot more of it because, surprise, surprise, there's going to be some out of bounds, I'll just say,
音がでっかい。
throughout this game. Zem
俺
has
の
to
耳がぶっ壊れる。
use just very awkward camera angles a lot of times throughout this run, just kind of knowing where he's got to move without it being in a very convenient position.
And what he got there was an infobot. Anytime you see those little robots that are kind of flying around with him, infobots generally just give you
なるほ
the
ど。
coordinates to the next planet. And look how fast he's
ま
going.
だいけないんです
Yeah.
ね
Very precise timing there.
So that trick that I'm doing right there, where you kind of see Ratchet vibrate for a half second and then shoot in a different direction. Those are
壁
called
登り
midair
してるん
long
だから
jumps.
By the way, he's out of bounds.
Oh yeah, no, I'm out of bounds.
あれ
So we're gonna grab these
ちょ
crates
っと
over here. And the way that I'm
壁抜き当たり
breaking
前
these,
で
when I
す
grab
か
this full bolt, they're all gonna snap to me. And so yeah, like I was saying, mid-air long jumps, they're a really useful tool because we can use them. For some reason, the way this game operates, with R1 and R2 both being crouch buttons, that means you could use either one to do long jumps. And so because of that, I can hit... hold on, this
さらっ
is
と
not
壁
good.
抜けしたんだ
Right
よ
here, he
今
needs to chain together some neutral long jumps to make a really long gap.
Yeah, and so right there, mid-air long jump, I'm canceling a side flip into a long jump is essentially what that is. So it's a really useful movement tool.
Yeah, and they're similar to neutral long jumps, not exactly the same.
He's also trying to make a universal cycle here. See if he's able to get it or not.
I'm
It
not
is-
gonna make it. Yeah, that's okay.
Ah, close. Very close.
I screwed up right at the end there with that.
これ待たなきゃいけ
mid-air
ないん
long
だ
jump. That bonked. But that's okay. Yeah, this is what I was saying before about how you have to move quickly to get global cycles. So
なんかマリ
the
オ
movement that you
64
have
で見たよう
throughout
な
this
配
entire
置だな
planet
これ
dictates what cycle you're going to get. So this should be, I think, normal cycle. If I had gone a little bit faster, I could have made the fastest cycle. But you know, no
も
big
う
deal.
世界広いん
Next,
だ
you're
ね
going
こ
to
れ
see something that you'll be seeing a lot throughout this run,
不
which
正を許
is
してはいけない
death abusing after picking up an item or some coordinates. Now, there are checkpoints all over the game that will, you know, let it so that make it so that when you die, you'll end up at that checkpoint. But he will specifically avoid checkpoints a lot of the times. There's no indication in the game about where these checkpoints are. They've just done so much research as a community into knowing where all of them are, so they can avoid them in order to respawn at a more favorable location.
So you guys know bolt-wise what I'm supposed to be looking at here. I should have around 600 bolts right now. So since I have 743, that's pretty good. That's being a little overbolted is not a bad thing. In fact, especially for a marathon run, I'm going to want to be overbolted because in case I get low rolls later on in the game, I want some backup bolts.
He's going to be collecting these bolts all throughout the run. There's never a point where he can just stop worrying about them.
So can you guys explain mid-air long jumps, or not mid-air long jumps, infinite long jumps, since they're about to come up?
Yeah, so
Infinite
long jumps
jump.
are this crazy cool technique that can only be done over certain surfaces, like mud that you see kind of all over the place here. First, he's going to grab a gold bolt here, but infinite long jumps involve him canceling long jumps with side flips and flipping back and forth and just doing these constant long jumps, and it's going to look really funny, and Ratchet's going to go flying.
Yeah.
あ
So we'll be seeing the first one here in a moment.
説明されてもわからない
Exactly. Now, you can do that
Eh?
as
Nani,
long
nani,
as you're over certain surfaces in the game. And you can see the kind of speed that he gets immediately.
Yeah.
And you can just chain it right into whatever you want.
So we're going to be using it all over this planet because, like Hobbs was saying, over certain
なんか動きが
surfaces
変だったが
specifically. So this mud right here, you can do infinite long jumps all over the place.
Everywhere.
So we're going to be going up here,
at
grabbing
that.
this gold bolt.
These have been
Crazy.
awesome so far. I just want to say, yeah. Very clean as well.
And momentum in every Ratchet & Clank game is very fluid. So he can chain the infinite long jumps into the neutral long jumps,
Yeah,
into the mid-air long jumps. Like, you can do everything. It's insane.
おお
And they're trying to get a bunch of height.
All right, cool. We're not dead.
Okay, cool. Didn't die. Doing good.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Since I haven't technically hit any checkpoints, if I were to die,
結構難しい。
then I'll probably spawn back at the ship, if I had to guess. I might have hit one entering this swing shot course, but I really doubt it. That being said, I'm going to go for a YOLO swag strat anyway, because why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So I'm going to break these boxes right here. Going to get over here, and then we're going to do this. All right, there we go.
There.
Oh, yeah.
When he's doing infinite long jumps, those are about, what was it, Spike? Like 13 inputs a
13
second.
inputs per second. And it's less about like just pure
これはひでえ。
mashing
Yeah.
as it is a rhythm that he has to find.
Yeah, if I have to hit this, like R1 and R2, I have to do that flutter really consistently. If I drop even a single input, the whole thing gets eaten and I'll just die.
Yeah,
You'll-
it's absolutely insane. It's
You'll-
probably one of the harder tricks for new runners to pick up.
This angle's really bad. Yeah, it's one of those things where you're going to see that on a ton of different planets just because of, like I said, certain surfaces. Who's that?
That was my mom calling probably.
You're off the couch.
Oh,
Can we get a quick shout out for moms?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
もう
Alright.
何をやってるんだか。
So that was the entirety of Iridia. Now we're heading to Eudora, where we're going to see the first instance of slope intercept. So if you guys want to explain slope intercept real quick while I'm setting all this up.
Yeah, so slope intercept is an algebra term. Like usually if you have a graph,
I thought Tones didn't notice.
I was really surprised.
I trained on one thing.
I was gonna believe it, man. You should have kept going. Slope intercept is actually in this game. Like whenever you jump onto a slope, you normally slide down. However, if you hover into the slope like that and continue to hold
これ
crouch,
正規の
you'll
登り
get
方じゃないだろう。
basically a quarter of a second where Ratchet crouches on the slope. Only in very specific spots on very specific slopes. You can do it in a bunch of different ways on some, but in others it might be, you know, down to just a few pixels wide. So he has to make sure he gets these high jumps during that quarter second that Ratchet crouches on those slopes again.
So obviously I've been going out of bounds already quite a bit. This is the first really major out of bounds. Oops, sorry about that. Where I'm going to have to really sequence break in order to get out of bounds. So what I'm going to do here, this is a section that you're normally only supposed to be able to do as Clank until you get the O2 mask later in the game, which allows you to go outside in space as Ratchet. But because I'm about to go out of bounds, I'm going to trick the game into basically not checking to see if I have the O2 mask. So first I'm going to glide up this rail that you normally go down with the grind boots. And the grind boots are normally a very important part of the game because you have to use them to traverse rails like this. We're just going to skip them entirely. And that ends up saving us a lot of time in the long run because as you can see, if I hit L3, I have 1,600 bolts right now. I need 2,000 for just the grind boots and not including the 4,000 on the next planet.
自分変態だと
So
思
it
う
would
よ。
take a long, long time to grind all those bolts. So that's where the majority of this time save comes from. It's going to require me to do a very long, intricate skip on one of the later planets in the run. So here, I'm out of bounds. I grab the bolt, and because I skipped the checkpoint, I can death abuse and just go right back to the
あ、
beginning.
落ちた。
Yep. You almost always want to end up back, at your ship or back near your ship.
I love the noise that he makes when he's just falling to his death.
ヤマトの世界ですよ。ヤマトの世界。
Yeah, sorry, man.
But yeah, like Tim said, he kind of went out of bounds in a more difficult way there. But in this game, in a lot of the Ratchet and Clank games,
まだジョの
in the
口。
PS2 era, it's pretty easy to get out of bounds.
これはほら、
real quick, this little hacking mini game that
宇宙戦艦ヤマト
just
も
memorizes the inputs.
Yeah,
同
it's
様
the
に
same
ね、
thing every single time.
あ
So.
の
Just lets you get into doors.
沈んできます。沈むからね。
But yeah, it's pretty easy to get out of bounds throughout most of the Ratchet and Clank games because they were pretty, technically advanced for the PS2 era. And so as soon as the developers thought there's no way they're going to jump at this wall, they just deloaded it. They just got rid of its collision. So you'll see a lot of times where it'll look like he'll just long jump through a wall. It's usually just that simple.
Right.
You
can do it at home, kids.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I didn't saw.
That was
or,
close.
I didn't crash the game. You can crash the game there if you break those too close together, because the game's trying to load two cutscenes at once. So we're done with there. I need 4,000 bolts, like I said, by the end of this planet. We have 37. Is well over what we need, but I'm going to continue collecting the bolts anyway.
That guy's a jerk.
That's okay. There's a huge meme in my channel that I can never get past this planet without only having 1 health. So if I can last with 2 health, I'll be more than happy with that. All right, so we're already well over 4,000, and I'm going to collect a couple hundred more anyway. So that's all the gold bolts on this planet. And like Hobbs was saying, there's some kind of wacky out-of-bounds stuff that's just purely based off of some walls not being there. So I'm going to break this. I'm going to kill this guy so he doesn't get in my way. And then I'm just going to jump through this wall.
See? Yep, you can do it at home.
So now we're out of bounds, and we're going to use this to skip to a different section of the game entirely, where the coordinates for the next planet are. So I'm going to jump over here, glide down, and grab this infobot right here. And so because I'm stuck here, I have to load to get back to the ship.
There end up being, I think we decided, 18 planets all the way throughout the run, 18 different levels. You can expect to see anywhere between 1 and 3 gold bolts per level. And in order to unlock each of them, it's normally like you either go into a cutscene or you find those infobots, which unlock other levels. Just kind of give you the basic idea of our objective throughout the game.
So this is the first huge run ender of the game. This tends to be a wall for anybody trying to break into the top levels of this game. These are called Cinna flips. They were found by a runner named Cinna. And they're similar to infinite long jumps, but they use the analog stick instead of the D-pad. And I have to be very, very precise with this. So if you guys want to take over from here.
Yeah, so like you said, they're very similar to, not simpler, but similar to infinite long jumps. He has to wait for this dinghy to lower, so that way he's completely over water. He's going to have to wait for it again. Otherwise, he'll be over that pontoon. And now he's really just trying to get height instead of as much speed and distance like you do with infinite long jumps. And these are just way more difficult. But he got it first try. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, see, most runners ask for quiet time during stuff like that. He's just like, you know what, J-Hobbs, just talk. Just keep talking.
I just love to watch his face when he does those.
They might not have seen it because I tried really hard to keep my face still right there.
See, we made him self-conscious.
I know. I should have never told him.
So yeah, what they're referred to normally when I do that, my face just goes like all over the place. Yeah, so here you're supposed to do this maze to get to this gold bolt, but because we're just going to go over top right here, we can just fly down and grab the bolt. And so here we're going to death abuse again by, see those like weird hazmat suit guys over there. We're going to get them to hit us, and we activated a checkpoint. The checkpoints in this game are so strange. We actually didn't get anywhere near where the checkpoint was, but because we were around the checkpoint, the game's just like, you were close enough. So I'm going to spawn back here. I need to get out of bounds again, so I'm going to climb on these crates. And I need to slope intercept once again off this tree. Yeah. This one's painfully precise. So let's see here.
Like you said, what you want to look for is that crouch. It's the high jump.
I'll take second try. That's not bad. And then here you're supposed to normally be able to access this with the hoverboard, but we skipped the hoverboard entirely. But the track is still here even without the hoverboard.
With collision.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That floor is not, but.
Again, just for everything they were able to do with this game graphically and you know, everything they've got in here, they just kind of cut some corners, you could say.
And though we are playing this on the PS3, which is for a PS3, a PAL PS3 exclusive glitch later in the run, at the very end of it. We'll explain that when we get to it. The games did come out on PS2, and that's kind of where a lot of this carries over, because most of the tricks work between the HD and standard def versions.
Yeah, and a big thing to note about the differences between consoles is that the loads for PS3 are just significantly faster. In the NG Plus category, New Game Plus, which is only a 22-minute category, loads end up saving 5 minutes between PS3 and PS2. Yeah.
What? And it's like the opposite by the third game, so it's kind of weird. All right, some more infinite long jumps because, again, you can see the mud. Go ahead.
Yeah. And coming up here, you're actually going to see a pretty cool trick called Ghost Ratchet.
Love this.
So basically, he's going to trick the game into thinking he's dying. He's going to go around this slope real quick. Or get up here, rather.
Yeah, and I need to collect some bolts here. Yeah, I need to have, the next one is 2,000 by the end of the next planet. So I'm just going to be collecting some bolts here and there.
So you see he's going to grab this, he's going to drop into the mud, and then save himself at the last second. The game thinks he's dead right now, which does this.
It allows me to just walk through walls.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. That's the one, like, out of bounds kind of thing where, all right, that one's not quite as easy.
Right.
You can't just long jump through the wall.
正規の取り方じゃない気がする。
It is important to know a little subtle detail. He's actually kind of jumping over, like jumping into each of these like clips, because the floor still has a little bit of collision with Ratchet, so you wouldn't be able just to walk into each of these. So he does have to jump over each of them. It's kind of a little quirk about it. For whatever reason, you have a 10,000 frame counter that is just going down. Which is, in other words, 2.5 minutes.
And now this
whole gonna flower around the stage.
This whole plan is based around this fortress that he's just going to be making his way into now. There's the boss. There's a lava boost. We're done with the plan.
あれ
That went well. I even landed on the info bot, which is
ボススキップですか？
So Battaglia, this planet, I was saying earlier on the space station planet that I skip getting the grind boots because it saves 2,000 bolts. Well, this entire latter section of this planet normally has a huge grind boot section. So we have to have a really creative skip in order to get around it. So that's going to be at the end of the plan. For now, I just want to collect the bolts, collect the gold bolts, collect some extra bolts along the way, and just get the coordinates for a couple of the other planets. So we're going to get over here into this trespasser puzzle. Same exact idea. I already have the pattern memorized. It's the same thing every single time. And here's like a fun little thing. I have to take my time breaking these crates because if I break them too fast, the bolts get just disappear for some reason.
So too many objects on screen.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the case. I have 27, like almost 2,800 bolts right now. Average is somewhere between 24 and 2,600. So bolt-wise, we're looking really, really good. So we're just going to go around this. This is one of the trickier plans just because, actually, it's really not that tricky as far as like actual hard strats. But in order to do everything properly, you need to have really good distance on all of your long jumps, your neutral long jumps, your mid-air long jumps. So it's mostly just a precision check to see if you're playing well.
And that's one of the cool things about all of the original, Rack trilogy is that there are so many movement options that you get to like optimize every minute detail. Do I need to go 2 feet? Do I need to go 12 feet? Like I'm going to be using different tricks for each one.
There, I could have done. I could have skipped this falling down the river section, but because of the way that ledges work in this game, if you carry a bunch of momentum at a ledge, the ledge will just eat all of it, and you'll just be stuck in place. So that's exactly what happened there. It ate all my momentum.
That sounded like an excuse to me.
I'm just really bad at this game, man.
Because he skipped that one, see? Yeah. Skip sliding down that river.
So I need 3,100 by the time I hit this this skip. So I'm gonna break some more bolts just to be safe here. I'm going to break these ones. And so this is grind boot skip coming up here. It's going to take a lot of very precise slope intercepts in a row.
Yeah. As you said, just a lot of slope intercept. You'll see every time that little crouch. It's like a quarter-second time to get that next high jump off. And you really just need to know where the spots are on a lot of these invisible walls that it's going to suddenly start doing that that crouch.
So we're scaling. We're scaling up this mountain. And this isn't the hard part. It's precise, but it's not nearly as difficult as this section right here. So I'm gonna. This is the actual grind section. No homie bump from that guy. I wanted a little bit more height from him, but that's okay. So I'm gonna break this mine over here using some bombs. Okay, one of them hit. And now we're going to do the same exact thing we did on Blarg and glide up this rail. If I fall off, there's no salvaging this. I'm just dead. So I need to be very careful here.
すごいここ落ちたら死ぬから注意して進んでるよっつって。
They're also just pretty slow when you're grinding. So he really just kind of wants to avoid them altogether.
All right, so fun little trick right here, ground infinite long jumps. I'm going to infinite long jump up this slope.
行けるとこまで行ったから別のレールに降りて進むっぽいですね。
All right, yeah, there we go.
Wanted to give him some serious time there, so we we're going to talk about it too much. But effectively, when you're going up those slopes where you're supposed to have the grind boots, he wants to make sure he's not in the middle of it. Otherwise, Ratchet will just slide back down it. And he also wants to make sure he's not too far off of it, so he needs to kind of stay on that edge.
Sorry to cut you off. We need to explain the tree.
The tree. Oh, yeah. So the tree. So this is the only level in the game where we're playing as exclusively Clank. I call him Crank in the back room. But so normally here they want you to go into that cave. It's like a 6-minute level that you have to do. You have like no options here with him. Instead, we're going to line ourselves up with this tree. He's got very specific visual cues that he has to go off of here to try to skip out of the I couldn't even explain it. I thought we were going to be here for 20 minutes.
All right, and now the swag trick that's a lot easier than it looks. That's, I know, oh man, I know he was worried about that one.
That was the first thing he practiced when he came downstairs, and he was missing it quite a bit. Not to
no, for real though. That's a trick. If you guys saw the SGDQ run last year that Raikaru did, we didn't have a consistent setup for that. Raikaru has to just jump at that tree for about a minute and a half, and then he just clips through randomly. And over the course of several months, a bunch of runners have been refining setups, and that setup was found that I used by one tabloid.
Yes.
It's just so insanely precise, and it looks so easy because I got it first try.
Yeah.
But that can really wall people. I've seen people lose as much as 10 minutes to that on a run.
I've seen him lose like 2.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have easily just sat there for so long.
Yeah, he has to get much more creative just with what his visual cues are on the wall, because that tree, which you think he'd be utilizing, it's swaying back and forth the entire time. So he has to use like stuff on the back wall and just looking at Clank himself.
We're going to move on to some more slope intercept here. Just climb our way. And again, most of the objective for a lot of these planets is I'm going to go get one item, or I'm going to go get some coordinates, and then that'll allow me to use that item or use those coordinates on this planet.
This is probably the best time to do a donation reading, just because we're going to have a couple minutes where it's the same stuff we've been doing. Just obviously there's going to be some cool out-of-bounds stuff that I'm going to be doing, but you can pretty much grasp what I'm doing just by looking at it. So let's get some donations in.
Alrighty, we have an anonymous $50 donation that says, "Hey Zem, Tab and GF here.
かっこいい
Hope
ヘ
you
ル
have
メ
a
ッ
great
ト
run. Good luck with Orcs on 1 and the
でここからなんかやってることが
Battalion strat.
今までのあれだから
Shoutouts to Nano Hollow guys." And we
Donation
have the writing
やってつって
scribe with $50 saying, "Hey Zem, scribe here and thought this was the most deserving time to give my donation. Been watching for a few years and thought it was time to
これが
send
正
this
規ルート
donation
なんじゃ
my
ないん
own.
ですか
Good luck on the run. Hype for the business chickens on Kalibo 3, but seriously, kill the animals."
知らないけど
Fair enough.
I just love any time you do any of these momentum preservations into a lava boost. Because it's like, it's when you can really see how fast he's been going out of bounds. It doesn't really, you can't really tell always.
Sure.
And also,
until
wait,
it's
hold on. I just want to say, guys, thanks for the good luck. I appreciate that. And the first person who donated Tab was the person I shouted out who found that setup. So, and yeah, you can. Just one quick thing about this, and then we can get back in a couple donation readings. There's a big invisible wall here that I have to get over, so I'm gonna slope intercept right here and get over top of it. All right, cool. Now we can get the gold bolt. All right, yeah. So that's all I have to say about this planet. The next planet is. It's a bit of an auto-scroller for a few minutes, so like I said, we can get back into some donation readings as we're going there. It has a very, very cool trick that we're going to explain, though, so after a couple donations, we'll get into explaining that. So, yeah, you can go for it.
Lincolnito donates $20 and says, "Hey Zem, Lincolnito here. Awesome to see you back at GDQ to show again what a Lombax can be capable of. Shoutouts to all the Rat Pack, and if you see Drek, give him a sick burn and send him my regards." Adam Cake donates $250 and says, "Thanks for hosting this great event. Sorry I couldn't be there in person this time, but I still want to wish Zem the best of luck. Sorry Zem, I don't have the $1 million you asked for, but I hope this will do."
Oh.
I told there was a big Ocean Man craze on my stream one time. He asked how much for me to sing that during the run. I told him.
本当は少しずつお金で強化して進んでいくと
All right, yeah, you can continue with a couple more if you want.
The Ultra Nerd donates $50 and says,
RTA
"Absolutely had
です
to
から
donate during the Ratchet and Clank and Jak 2 runs. Love these games so much and all the stuff these amazing runners do. Donation goes to the level 1 Sephiroth fight for Kingdom Hearts 2."
Good choice.
And Ranunculus Acris donates $20 and says, "I wanted to donate towards Nessun Dorma, but that incentive was already met days ago.
全部新鮮だからただ見てるだけっていう
Good luck and have fun. What is your choice, Sam?"
My choice is the level 1 Lingering Will fight in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's a really, really sick fight. The boss battle is just so cool. So that's my recommendation for people.
ああなるほど
Somewhere.
So to note,
それを
you've kind of been
きれい
seeing
にし
him,
ようっていう
kill all
ノ
these
リかな
fish all over the place. It's not doing it just for bolts, although it is a nice benefit. It's actually an escort mission. He needs to get the boat driver all the way across.
The guy.
Right.
Yeah.
You get the
Actually,
guy.
if you guys have FFZ, I think my FFZ is linked to the channel right now. If you want to spam the guy, that'd
guy.
be more than appreciated. We don't know what his name is. Like none of the runners. He has a name. We just don't know what it is. So we just call him the guy.
And also, everybody rides boats on top of a windshield, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just look at this guy though. Like, just look at him.
He's the guy.
He's got the dad Hawaiian shirt. He's got the bling. Because he got the comb over, the open-toed shoes.
It's like a super chill, incredible
Yeah,
Hulk.
like oh my god. what left is there to say about this stunning creature? So
Got a good smile.
so coming up at the end of this is a really cool looking trick if I can pull it off. It's called Dive Bomb, and it was discovered by a runner named Maxis, and it was popularized by a runner named Sippy. And so the way it works is that there was a gold bolt earlier in the run or early in the level, but I just skipped it. We normally get it by doing some more slope intercepts up a waterfall, but there's a much cooler and a little bit faster strat. It's just a lot more dangerous. So
He doesn't care that it's faster. He just likes looking
it's
cool.
just so cool looking. Okay, so I'm gonna group all these fish together. I gotta kind of be careful. I only have 4 health, and the checkpoint's way back at the beginning of the level. So if I die here, it's just I look like an idiot.
And by grouping all those guys together, it allowed him to conserve his bomb ammo a little bit.
いいなこのギミック。
Yeah, he actually does kind of pay attention to his ammo the entire run because ammo costs money and sometimes you get ammo
また
refills for free.
一
So
つ
you
に
wanna
まとめ
maximize
て
that.
ドッカンかな。
But we're almost done with this escort mission here. And we're going to be picking up another upgrade for Clank right after this. In fact, he's going to try to clip through a door to just save a couple seconds. Here? Let's see.
Nope.
No.
That's okay.
Still believe.
Oh, I got I got through. Okay, so I got through the door, which is great. But then when the guy gets to the button, he activates the cutscene and it warps me back here. So it didn't even
スラスタ
matter.
ーパック。
So
But yeah, so he got the thruster pack upgrade for Clank, which we'll talk about later because there's a ship going
なんだ
on.
いきなり
Yeah,
シューティン
there's
グ系になった
4
わ
of。these like kind of snake-like ships that he's gonna have to take out each of the different pieces of it. There are also these chests that could have missiles in it, which are denoted on the left side of the screen by those green
なんだいきなり
little markers. He wants to make sure he doesn't kill all 4 of them, all of the snake the snake parts, because he wants to leave a little bit alive, because then we're going to hopefully be able to get this swag gold bolt.
Yeah, and he already
何
left
こ
the
れ
one
何
alive,
これ
so good there. So we'll be coming up pretty soon. He's going to do a wide sweeping
Star
motion here,
Fox
and then
This
he's
is
going to
way more precise than you would
アフ
think.
ターバー
he's
ナ
gonna
ーか
dive bomb right at this gold bolt cutscene, and hopefully, yeah,
And we still get the entire cutscene of it. It's great.
yeah. And the
Nice.
the ship just disappears as soon as as soon as you finish out the mission. So
yeah, if I wanted to, I could just
Oh,
ride
なるほど。
along in that weird state where Ratchet's just on top of the ship for as long as I wanted. And we just stay up there. It's really funny looking.
Yeah.
So now we have to go back to Orkson because we just got the O2 mask from the guy. And
so we got the thruster pack upgrade and the O2 mask there.
yeah.
What's great about the routing in this category is that even though there's 18 planets, there's all these gold bolts we have to acquire. There's only, I think, we just had 3 total revisits in the entire run. So a lot of it is consolidated pretty well in single trips.
Now, what he did there is something you can do with the thruster pack called a, well, it's actually called a ground pound cancel, but it looks like a mid-air long jump because that's effectively what it is. He'll get all of the height that he can, start initiating a ground pound attack, and then cancel it in order to do a long jump in the air.
Yeah,
So
ground
it
pound
seems to do this a
cancels, they're a very bread and butter technique in this run. And it's one of those things that, it's so weird because it's almost intentional by the developers. It's because you're able to cancel ground pounds into long jumps, but I don't know if that was an intended feature or not. That's just a thing we can end up doing.
Right now he's escorting an infobot around. You just need to kind of get some enemies away. As you can see, the infobot's racing ahead of him.
ああそういうことなんだ。
Why is he faster than you?
Man, I'm trying my best here. Can you just give me some credit?
So that probably looked a little weird. Basically, just he has some magnet boots, but if you hover in that specific spot, you can just be a little bit faster than walking on walls.
This is a very precarious looking trick because if I screw up the angle on this, I just die. So I'm going to go over here.
He's going to go try to do a ground pound here in a very specific spot
Nice.
Okay.
to hit a cutscene.
Basically, you probably have noticed earlier in the run that those gold bolts have basically like gigantic hitboxes. So by him jumping up and then doing a ground pound, he extended his height up enough to where he hit the bottom part of the hitbox of that gold bolt, warping him upwards and putting him in a consistent spot to where obviously he's not going to fall and die in that gooey substance below.
Please don't kill me. Okay, there we go. The texture's finally loaded. Okay.
So yeah, every time you're seeing him do that long jump while in the air, that's because he's canceling a ground pound
あれ
attack.
Very nice.
どういうこと
Yeah,
こ
so
れ
that's the end of Orxon 2.
これ
Now
どういう
we're
こ
going to
と
Hoven, where there's a new YOLO strat that was just concocted. I believe it was by a runner named Sneepy, where we're going to infinite long jump. The way it works is that the goal of the planet is there's a turret at the top of the planet that you're supposed to get up to by whatever the game wants you to.
壁抜けを
You
さ
get
らっと
inside
さ
the
れる
turret,
と
and then you have to start this ship fight. But if you
そう
are
なんだね
underneath the turret, the game doesn't check your Y coordinate.
Oh,
so it
come on,
assumes that if
大丈夫か
you're in the correct position along the X and Z axis, that you must have clearly gotten up to
なん
the
だこれ
turret. So the game just up warps you into the turret. So I'm going to try to do it like the super YOLO way at first, and then I'll do the baby YOLO strats.
Kind of similar to hitting those gold bolt cutscenes instead of like grabbing the bolt itself.
So let's see.
Don't
Just trying to
blink.
hit the cutscene trigger. Yeah, good job. So that looked weird. It should.
Okay, so right here, he's got these 5 different, basically like turret sections of this gigantic ship he's trying to take out. Definitely something at a high level when you're playing this game. You want to learn to kind of be shooting multiple sections of them at a time.
Cool.
So like he took out the first 2 there. Now he's going to be shooting in a specific spot to damage all
Cool.
3 of these
Yeah,
other ones
Dutchy.
at the same time with each shot. He does have his health denoted in the bottom left corner. Yesterday when we did this, he got it like at the last possible
す
second.
ごいね
Hopefully
敵
it's
の
not
量が
as
尋常
much
じゃない
here.
This time.
This is going to be good.
That's all right.
I hope.
It does it.
I hope.
does it.
I hope. Are you kidding me? No! Oh my God. That was such garbage.
They just
okay.
piled up on him at the very end.
That's so dumb.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Well, okay. Well,
Do
not
it
when
again,
you say it. It made me nervous, guys. That's oh man.
I shouldn't have pointed out
I'm
the health
so
bar.
mad right now.
So now he can show you the backup he would have used, which is just doing a lot of side flips in the air.
Okay.
Now
So
we
let's
can
do it
do this
again.
結構ギリギリなんだろうね
Your health bar just like melted at the end.
All right, so he has like 5 turret sections that he's trying to shoot right now.
Right, so you get
Yeah,
these
wait,
5
wait,
turret
wait.
sections. at a
So
high level.
while I'm doing this, I wanted to have a little bit of tones
ちゃんと
on the
タスク
mic.
に変えましたね
Can you give me a quick rant about amiibos?
Oh, okay. Oh, don't even get me started, dude. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so freaking Breath of the Wild comes out in March,
Oh,
right?
普通でも
Comes out
厳しいんだ。
in March, right? I was hyped as I was so hyped.
Yeah,
right?
that word,
I was
yeah,
hyped.
sure.
Right. Yes. And okay.
You know what?
So any percent people run any percent like all right.
It's over. You're done.
All right, good job, Tones.
いいですね
I'm glad you didn't just like death cycle there and be like, keep going, man.
Just keep going. We're like,
This is where you sell me on it.
I keep dying for minutes at a time on this. It's just like, Tones, keep going, please, for the love of God. So now that we're done with that, we're done with the planet. We just need to grab a couple more gold bolts. And so there's one of them right there. There's another one where you're supposed to use, I believe it's called the Hydro Displacer. I forget the names of all the gadgets in this run because I don't play this game casually.
おお
And
た
so
くさんできた
you're
ね
supposed to, it's a gadget that allows you to raise and lower water levels. And you have to use it to raise a bunch of the water levels in a row.
ど
But
んどん
since
無
we
視して
have
いく
ground
な
pound cancels, we don't need to use that. We can just ground pound cancel up here, ledge grab, go over here. And we're going to ground pound cancel again off the top of this thing. And then just get up to the bolt.
There we go. So again, the kind of intended way of doing that is to raise the water up so you can just swim.
Sure.
So then we go out of bounds.
あれ
That easy.
Casual.
And we
あっさり
haven't
壁
activated
抜け
any
したけど
checkpoints along the way. So we just spawn back at the ship.
Yep, fantastic.
So anyway, start running any percent, right? And they don't think
Right.
the opponent is that bad.
No, yeah, I'm following
Jones,
you.
please.
I'm on
Please.
the
Please.
journey with you. Yeah, we can talk about it afterwards if you want.
You know, let's do it over lunch.
もう普通じゃない
So Gemlik is It's a pretty interesting one because for the most part we've been avoiding checkpoints, but this is going to be a planet where we're going to intentionally activate one of the checkpoints because we're going to Death Abuse later, and we're going to trick the game into putting us further along the map. So first we're going to get up here, we're going to go out of bounds by ground pound canceling, and just mashing X, and then it'll eventually double jump me over there. So now we're out of bounds. I'm going to go over to here, which is some
これ何してん
sideways.
の？どこ行くんだこれ？
Ground pound cancel once again up there, and then I'm going to touch this
思い
spot
出
right here,
思い
and
出
then
なんて見せな
that's
いよっ
going
ていう。
to warp me down to the section below. So I'm going to
この
grab
飛
the
行
gold
機
over here. We're still out of bounds. This whole section is done out of bounds. We're going to clip through here.
ちょ
Go
っと
around. That's good that I took damage there, actually, because I needed Death Abuse anyway. Long jump here. Long jump here. And here's the
もう
bolt.
何がなんだか。
That was good. Those out of bounds, as easy as we said it, is sometimes to get out of bounds. The camera likes to fight you
Yeah.
unbelievably hard every time you get out of bounds. So, quick little death abuse.
あ、
and
デ
we'll
ス
go back to
デスル
where
で
that
すね。
checkpoint was.
Yeah, again, there is so much out of bounds in this run that Zem just has to be pretty good at
そんなあっさりさ、
understanding where he needs to go, even when the camera's
壁
looking
抜け
out
し
on
ない
him.
でください
So
よ。
this is supposed to be the climactic boss fight of the entire game, where it's not the final boss, but it's Quark. And earlier in the game, like there's a whole arc surrounding Captain Quark and like his story arc. But we're just gonna skip the boss fight, and we're gonna ground pound cancel over here. And because we're over at this section, the game assumes that we must have completed the boss fight if we're over here. So we Death Abuse, and then we just get the coordinates to the next planet and skip the boss fight entirely.
All right.
Yeah.
おお。
Yo, you beat Quark.
You beat him.
Yeah,
And
normally you want to extend like a bridge, which only happens after beating the boss, but just that extra little bit of height before doing that long jump lets him get right over there.
this planet is a little tedious to start, so I might have you read some more donations while I'm doing this one little section. Over
そう
here.
この
But
ゲー
we're
ム
gonna-
どういう目
to give
的
you
な
guys
ん
a
だっけ
rundown
そ
of
も
what's
そも
going to happen. I'm going to grab an item called the PDA. And the PDA, what its intended use is that you open it up whenever you want, and you can buy ammo for your weapons like at an upcharge. And it takes the place of needing to go to vendors to buy ammo. Because again, like Hobbs said before, ammo management is very, very important for this run. We don't use the PDA for ammo management. We use it instead to do infinite jumps. So you'll see some of those when I actually get the PDA. But for now, we have this. I don't know. This section is. I get why they thought it was a tricky section, but in comparison to some of their later level designs, it definitely pales in comparison. So it's just I'm just going to be
ヒーロー
walking
に
along
憧れてる
this
翔平が
Mag
ヒーローに
League
なっ
section
ちゃ
for a little
う。
bit.
な
So
る
you
ほ
got
ど。
time to read some donations if you want.
We have a $300 donation from Monte Cristo, who says,
Hey.
looking forward to hearing a little Nessun Dorma from Zem after this run. Thanks to GDQ for another wonderful charity event.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anonymous donates $50 and says, hey Zem, had to donate during the Rack Daddies run. Can't wait to hear my favorite aria being blessed.
悟空がフリーザを倒す感じ。
That's him.
That's me.
All right, we have time for one or two more if you want.
Okay. Anonymous donates $50 and says, head to donate for my favorite runner. Let's hear that beautiful voice, Zem.
God, you guys are setting such a high expectation. What if I screw up? What if I just? What if I start singing and just like puke?
I think the stage techs will be a little unhappy cleaning it up. For starters.
All right, so coming up here are 2 gold bolts. The first one, as you can probably see on the right side of the screen right there, we're going to go over here. And this one's kind of funny because, not this one, the next one. This is the only instance of the entire game where the 2 bolts are within 50 feet of each other. And so it's kind of like a bait and switch. You get the one, you're like, all right, cool, I got the collectible. And then, you don't realize that all you have to do is ledge grab over here and then just keep going. You just, and then, look at that.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that.
That's one of the few that we actually
なん
got
だ
the
これ。
intended way.
おお。
Yeah, the reason, if anyone's wondering why Clank isn't with us, it's because I guess in the story, like there's lightning on this planet.
ね。
He a
ゴールドボル
robot,
トの判
he don't
定
wanna
が
be
すごい
there,
でかいっすよね。
so-
He a good boy. We got to protect him at all costs. So we keep him out of the lightning storm. So here we're buying the PDA. And I'm good on bolts, so I don't need to collect those crates. Normally those are some backup crates right there. So we're going to pull out the swing shot, and we're going to use the PDA up top here. I'm going to grab a weapon called the Sheepinator, and it's completely pointless. There's no time I'll ever use it in the run, but we have to grab it, because if we don't grab it,
クランクがいないから仕方ないって言うんですけど、クランクってどれ？クランクってどこに出てくる？
But that's fine. This is normally a grind boot section, so we need to get a creative way around this. We're going to go over here.
Lets that ship kind of get a lot further away, and then carries the momentum from that swing shot use. And now these are infinite jumps. Opens up the PDA and just does an input that involves first-person mode as well as swinging the wrench, and just, for some reason, lets you jump again.
And coming up here is a trick that I actually found a couple of weeks ago by a runner named Yen called PDA side flips. And it's the same concept, except we're not going to wrench swing. It's just going to be side flip after side flip here.
あれがそうか、さっきいたな、そういえば。壁抜けしてたやつだね。
This can be a little tricky. It's the reason that it's tricky for me personally, since we haven't had a lot of time to work with this trick. It kind of goes against a lot of the muscle memory for actual infinite jumps.
なんかストーリーわかんないと完全にわからんよね、これ。
And we got the cutscene.
何がすごかったんだかよくわからんまま終わってしまった。
Normally, no, actually, I'm looking really good on bolts right now. Normally, you want to have around 1,400. So the fact that I have 1,800 is very, very good. We're good. The next big bolt count is 7,500.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need to collect as many bolts as I possibly can. So here, this is supposed to be a swing shot puzzle, but the end of the puzzle is right here at the beginning. So we're just gonna do this, and we get the goal.
All right.
Oh.
Like I said, with the original Rack games, Insomniac really liked to develop things in big circles so that way you ended up where you started. It's a really cool level design when you're playing casually, and it's fantastic for speedrunning.
Yeah.
ここも狼スタイル。
So here is going to be the final part of Ultanis, where, again, it's going to be a section that's normally done with the grind boots, but because we don't have them, we have to do more infinite jumps. So I'm going to get around all these guys who are trying to kill me. And the bolt count that we're looking at, I want to have a roughly 2,100. I'm going to have way more than that, though. Like, even just from here, I'm going to get about...
Jeez.
Yeah. And I'm going to collect some more bolts anyway, just to be safe. And I'm dead. So what happened there is I hit... When you're doing infinite jumps, Ratchet does a wrench swing, right? The way that you do that, you close the PDA with triangle, and then you hit square to do the wrench swing. If you hit square and triangle too close together, the game kind of freaks out and sends you into first-person mode. And so you just fall to your death instead of doing an infinite jump.
Kind of just eats your wrench.
なんか失敗したみたいだけど。
Yeah, it sounds like kind of risky, but really this is a very simple concept. In theory, I just really botched that. So hopefully let's not screw that up this time.
Oh.
All right, there we go.
First try.
And the other thing is that your double jump really doesn't give you very much height at all. And since we don't have Clank, we don't have access to that high jump. So that's really where infinite jumps can sometimes mess up one, you can't recover.
Yeah. The double jump height in this game is very paltry in comparison to the double jump height in other games. And so I actually wasn't paying attention to anything you said, so if I repeat anything, I'm so sorry. The double jump height, you actually, for every infinite jump, you lose height. So you need to have the appropriate distance. So we're done with Ultanis. We're going on to Quar 2, which is one of my personal favorite planets because it kind of culminates every single trick that we've already done. It has Ghost Ratchet. It has infinite long jumps. It has a new tech, PDA glides. And it just like a lot of the other planets, the end of the planet is at the very beginning. So the first thing we're going to do, there's this slide that you see off in the distance there.
Yeah, off to the right there.
We're going to go up this slide, and it's going to take us to the end of the level. So we're going to go up here, pull up the swing shot.
And we got the same concept as we talked about before. See, that goes to show you right there. He's just a little bit right and actually kind of on that slide. It'll bring him back down.
There we go.
Doing that long jump is really precise. It just saves a little bit of time. But yeah, now he's just
All right,
riding on that corner.
made it up the slide.
なるほど。
So we
なるほど、な
talked
るほど。
before about how some walls are just not there.
ダディ
This
ビア
whole
さんあり
room
がとう
is
ございま
solid,
す。
except if I go up here and I can just long jump out.
Yep.
おい。
So I'm-
Anywhere they thought that you weren't going to get to, they wanted to save, memory or whatever it was, and just got rid of all the collision.
So here I activated Ghost Ratchet from below. I'm going to get this guy out of here because he's going to try to kill me. The two robots that are in these rooms right here, they can mess me up really badly if I'm not careful. So I'm just going to have to be
Oi.
careful.
Ghost Ratchet is where the
Oi.
game thinks he's dead, and for some reason allows him to walk through walls.
Yeah, he can still, as you can see, interact, get hit, and hit other like enemies and such, but just walls don't have collision. But again, you do notice that he has to sort of like jump over each wall. Like the ground will still have collision for whatever.
何ですか
Cool
ね、こ
trick
れ。
right here. Let me just avoid this guy's laser. Okay,
Ooh.
or I can just die. That's fine
Ooh,
too.
good body.
Or I can just die.
Oh.
Get away from me! Okay, cool. Oh crap.
Oh, no.
Dad, please. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Well,
That's whatever.
well,
I try to be like, yo guys, like here's the cool moment, and then it ended up just biting me in the butt. So that's fine. All right, so we're gonna go back out. We're gonna do all this over. We're just gonna get Ghost Ratchet, and since I already I did what I needed to do. The reason I went back is so that I could activate.
もう訳がわからないんだが。
Like you need to get the coordinates for the next one, and it's just right there, so we can just grab it while we're there. All right, so these guys should be gone now. Let me pull this out. Okay.
訳がわからない。
that's speed. As soon as the camera catches up with
He's
you,
still
it's
going,
just
dude.
insane. And
So-
you're slowing down the entire time you're hovering, so that's how fast he was going.
So that's a big thing about Ghost Ratchet is that normally there's a speed cap on Ratchet. You can only move, the fastest you can move, if you want to put it into numbers, is 0.43 units per frame, which doesn't really mean anything, but the reason I say that is because a Ghost Ratchet completely removes that, so I can just go at insane speeds with Ghost Ratchet. So here we actually have Ghost Clank. This is a giant Clank fight, and if I wanted to, I could walk through these walls. The reason I'm going around the arena anyway is to pick up bolts. As you can see here, keep an eye on my bolt count in the top right corner. It's going to start skyrocketing really soon.
There's also a tricky thing with Ghost Ratchet and Ghost Clank where sometimes little bits of terrain on the ground will count as a wall, and you'll just fall right through them and just fall through the floor.
I wasn't going to take that extra jump because I knew I was going to fall through the floor.
Exactly. It's happened to Zen before on a really decent run.
Yeah, I was on world record pace one time, then I fell through the floor and
Fell
lost
right
the
through
run.
the floor. You can't even be mad. It's just too funny.
Yeah.
So with that, we're just going to be taking out these enemies, kind of just a little bit of a boss fight of sorts here. So we could probably get in a donation or two while we're waiting.
All right, we have a $25 donation from Wyvern. It says, hey Zem, Wyvern here. Had to donate while my favorite streamer ran my favorite game. Awesome run so far. Keep it up, my man. Donation goes to Zem's Choice, which again is level 1 terror / lingering will in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Thanks, Wyvern. All right, you can do one more if you want. We're just finishing up here.
Wink donates $50 and says $5 for every bonk so far, plus an extra $10 for the first try Cineflips and $10
すごい
for
ホーミング
the
性
first
能
try
してん
treat.
な。
Second donation at the end of the run. Thanks, Wink.
Thank you kindly, sir.
You got first try tree in
Yeah,
this run.
I
I
was
did,
going to say
yeah.
the same thing. Like, you remember when you did that? That was cool.
That's wild. The rest of this run can go like completely down the toilet, and I don't even care anymore. All right, so we're coming up. Actually, speaking of going down the toilet, we're going to be going to Drex Fleet now, which has in my opinion, the hardest skip in the game. Some people would argue Cineflips are harder, the crazy like infinite long jump that I did at the water planet. But I say this is the hardest because it's so insanely precise. I have to do 3 things in a row that are like, if I'm even the tiniest bit off, the trick just will not work. So that comes at the end of this planet. For now, we're just going to be going through this whole fleet. I'm going to be collecting a whole bunch of bolts. This is, yeah, there's just going to be a big section of ship after ship after ship that I have to go through. The only tricky part about this particular section is if I really screw up somewhere and die, there's very few checkpoints throughout this planet. So it'll just take me back to the very beginning, and I'll lose.
それで抜けてしまうの
It's
か。
not really a big deal. I don't really think I'm going to die. And now that I've said that, I'm going to die about 6 times.
Right.
So for bolts, I normally want to have about 6,100 by the time I'm done with that particular part. I'm well overvolted, but I'm going to keep going anyway just because, I mean, a lot
Still
can
a
go
couple
wrong.
more purchases.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's the 7,500 he's looking to buy, which you can almost afford, and then one final 2,500 that he needs to spend after that.
Yeah, so the 7,500 one is going to be at the end of this section right
避け
here.
る
And
ね
it's going to be the decoy clip, or the decoy glove, sorry. We use it for decoy clips. And the intended use of the decoy glove is you throw out like this blow-up doll of Ratchet, and the enemies attack the doll instead of you. But we use it for, in the context of the run, we use it for wall clipping. And on
変装してないんだ
PS2 and all PS2 versions of the OG trilogy,
あ
clips are significantly easier, but because we have to just
ちょっと
accommodate,
止まっちゃいました
we
ね
have
申し
to
訳
run
ない
this on PS3. The loads are just too long on PS2 to even be competitive. We have to just deal with the really precise clips. So I almost have 7,500. We're gonna do a cheeky little clip right here, where I'm gonna stand on these crates, do a ground pound down to here, get myself in the right spot, clip through the wall, and I died because I'm an idiot. It's okay, there's a checkpoint.
Oh.
So that's,
Checkpoint.
that's
You
fine.
There is no checkpoint.
There's a checkpoint here, okay? What do you want from me?
Okay, jeez.
Tones, I love you, I'm sorry.
また抜けた
There we go. Didn't die that
There
time.
it is. Heck yeah.
Okay, yeah, and
Yeah.
all right, yeah, you know, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good.
I'll take what I can get this run. So the reason that I died there, it wasn't because of like, even though it ate my wrench input, I could have salvaged it, but because I went underneath the ship, the floor of the ship exists. And so it wouldn't have let me back inside the ship. I would have just been floating around for a while. So now we have, I want to get about 8,000 bolts here.
あ
Okay, great. That's perfect.
あ8000ボルト
Yeah, that's fine.
取って何する
We kind of want to have more than one health here because clipping functions differently on one health.
8000
and
ボ
goes
ルト
to
取っ
3 or
て
4
何か
health.
使うって言いました
So
け
now that
ど
we're done, we have the coordinates for the last planet. We're going to go back here, and we are going to buy the decoy glove.
Yeah, and
Decoy glove.
immediately you're gonna see how decoy clipping works.
Yeah, so this is
Nanda?
going to be a thing. The first clip is easy, so this will be to showcase what exactly I mean by decoy clips.
Yeah.
The second one is the one I need blessings on.
Well, what makes this easy is that he's in the corner, which just naturally will make it easier, pushing him out of bounds.
Yeah, so the reason this one is harder, like Spike was saying, corners are the easiest
デコ
to
イってあっ
clip
たから
in.
壁
Walls are
で
the second
身代わり
easiest,
と思った
but
け
then
ど
circular walls are the
壁抜き
hardest. So,
They're just awful.
and look what we have here. We have a circular wall. So I'm going to set up using very precise visual cues. I'm going to try to set this up. And this is the run ender of the category.
Yeah.
I've seen people lose, like, again, just like Orcs on 1, like, at least with Orcs on 1, it's like a little bit the game's fault, like, because of how stupid precise the trick is. Like, if you're just jumping over and over, like, the game just won't let you through. But, oh my god.
Oh no way, dude!
Oh, God. No way you just did that.
Oh my gosh!
No way you just did that. Are you kidding me?
So
Literally like 5-10 minutes at a time yesterday he was showing us that trick.
he has 18 ammo for the decoy clip. He got down to 2 the other day.
Oh
and he got down
my
to like
God.
11 or 10
Yeah.
in the practice room right before this.
Why couldn't I get this on a good run? Yeah, we have a saying, there's no such thing as a good run until you get past Rex Fleet. It's one of those tricks that even like somebody as good as the second place runner, I saw him on a PB
本当は
base
10
by
分ぐら
5
い
minutes.
かけ
He
てやっ
lost
たんだろ
all
う
of
っ
his
つって
time to that clip, and then he just like quit the run. He was
言っ
like,
て
I
ました
don't
け
want
ど
to play
ね
this again.
Yeah, it was kind of important to know. Well, I'll actually just go for it.
Yeah, so this one, this is going to be, this whole planet, this is no Valis
なるほど。
Revisited. The reason we have to come back here is because we need the decoy glove to do these clips. And so these clips are significantly easier than Drex Fleet, but they're still a little tricky. I need to just make sure I have precise angles for these. This one's pretty lenient, and of course I screwed up because I said it was lenient. So let me just, please get me out of this
Got
madness.
the other one.
Yeah, I was
first
going to say,
try.
I don't even care, dude. You could be here for like 5 minutes. On this
失敗
one.
した感じです
There
ね
you go.
So this one,
Expect
this
my
one coming up is the hard one of the planet, but because of the Clip Master Prince Vortex came up with a consistent setup, I'm going to be using his setup here. So let's see if I can actually get this without too much
Shoutouts to
trouble.
Tyler.
Yeah, shoutouts to Tyler. He was my All Go Bolts coach in the months prepping for this. And like he was great at knowing what I was doing wrong, but he was so bad at explaining what I was doing wrong. Like he'd just be like, "Yo, Zem, your lines suck here," and I was just like, "Okay, well, what do I do better?" He's like, "Just go faster. Like you need to just like."
Man.
So
Good constructive criticism.
But yeah, so I got that's the last gold bolt of this planet. There is a clip that I could do here, but since I want to gather a couple more bolts, I'm going to go over here and let these slimy things kill me. So I'm going to hit them. They drop some bolts when you break the first big guy. So now I'm at 13. That's great. That's exactly where I want to be bolt-wise.
The last number he's looking for is 2,500. We're done with bolts.
Yeah. So now we're going on to the second to the last planet, which is Kalibo 3, which it's basically just infinite jumps to the planet where I just have I'm just going to be infinite jumping to one spot, then infinite jumping to another spot. If I die at any point, it's a huge time loss because I'm not getting any checkpoints along the way. So it's just going to be a matter of me not screwing up the inputs like I did a couple of times in the run already. So all I got to do is just play better, man.
Yeah.
Like, I got to channel my inner vortex. Zem, how about you just like don't play like garbage? So we're doing ground pound cancels, which again we're doing the ground pound input of double jump R1, and then we can cancel the ground pound into a long jump by pressing X again. So that's what I'm doing here. As you can see, Ratchet goes like ba-doom, like that. That's a ground pound cancel. So coming up is my favorite.
なんか狼で見たよねってしか言えないこれ。
We have a very particular name for this room, which I probably am not supposed to say over the air. But but you know, there's bound to be people watching from my chat, so if you just want to go ahead and spam that, you're more than welcome to. Channel your inner Twitch chat. So
it's just a room full of giant chickens.
It's just a bunch of big old, juicy chickens.
Yeah.
You know.
So if you could think of another word for chicken, that might be what we wanted to say. Anyways.
So yeah. Here we go. Just going to be ground pound canceling some more. If I have to watch my angle here because if I go over those rails up there, they can eat my infinite jump. So I'm going to be going just barely below them. I need a lot of height here, so I need to keep doing ground pound cancels. Ground pound cancels give you height, whereas double jump, long jump like that gives me distance. So I'm underneath those rails. Now I can go up. You can see the gold bolt in the distance. I need a little tiny bit more height.
Again, you've seen him drop an input on these before. It's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, this is a very long one he has to do.
Yeah, this many in a row. Just needs to hit that cutscene trigger.
All right, we're good.
Nice. That was a lot.
They normally expect you to get that on grind boots, which is why there wasn't this long cutscene like there has been for a lot of the gold bolts.
Yeah. So this is Belden 2. This is the final planet of the game.
次が最後の惑星だそうですけど。
I have, what do I have, like 1,400? Something like that? Yeah, close to it. Yeah! So I'm gonna grab...
I was on bolt counting duty. Let that one go.
あ、最初の星なんだね。あ、そうかそうか。
Yeah, 1950 is good there. So I'm gonna go over here now, grab that
最初あまり見てなかった。
of crates over there, and this should put me above 2,500, just barely.
Yes!
Okay. So now starts the fun. This is Velden 2 SI. It is.
ラチェットの故郷か。
That's all I have to say about it. It's like
this is insanely difficult.
I've had several runs that I've lost to this just off pure stupidity, but
I think you said 5 precise slope intercept.
また壁登りですか？
Again, quarter of a second, and you need to know on invisible walls where this timing is going to be.
Got it.
And we're in there.
Nice.
So now we need to grab 2 more gold bolts along the way here. And we need Ghost Ratchet. So we've been trying to think, fun fact about the other categories in this game, every other category, so any percent and New Game Plus, they skip the swing shot entirely. That's a new thing that's happened, especially for any percent.
Which again, is that tool right there.
But we need it in all gold bolts to get Ghost Ratchet, so we're trying to theory craft ways you can go around skipping the swing shot. But we can't think of anything, especially for this planet, because you'll see up ahead that I just need to go through a barrier. Like the button to the barrier is on the other side. So we're trying to figure out ways to get around it, but it's not really looking that great right now. At least a speedy method to do it. So that's bolt number 39. Number 40, which is the last one, is going to be up here ahead. So we're going to be going up here.
We'll probably
And
do a quick bolt check just to be sure.
2551. That's more than enough.
No, I meant the gold
Oh,
bolts at the end.
okay, yeah. Yeah, we will be doing a
Just to
check at the
prove
end.
it.
Just to show you guys. So that's the barrier I'm talking about. The button's on the other side. So we don't. I don't even remember how you're supposed to do this casually. There's probably some like help in knowing that, but yeah, I don't know. So that's that. Now it's time for the final boss fight. We're gonna go back over here. We got this checkpoint, which is very useful because it's going to be right by the boss fight. We're going to skip an entire section of the boss fight, and so the reason that I need 2,500 bolts is because it's a PAL PS3 exclusive glitch.
Save it?
I can save this. So, hold on, let me just do this real quick.
Yeah, so he's having to do infinite jumps with the high jump here because he
Okay.
just lost
見覚え系なんですけど
recovery. But yeah, where he's going with that is he's going to buy the Pyrocitor right here, which is basically a flamethrower. And for some reason, when they took the 50 hertz PS2 PAL version of the game and converted it to 60 hertz for the PS3 version, they kind of broke the Pyrocitor. Normally it's this flamethrower that will hit, every few frames, a couple times a second or whatever. Now it hits every single frame.
Yeah, so you're gonna see his
Watch
if I can
that
actually
health.
get to him, his health bar is gonna just gonna
お
melt.
物は消毒だ
This is
This is the final boss fight, remember. And you'll see how
Here we go.
Oh,
quickly
お物は
phase
消
one
毒
ends.
だ
Bam,
All right.
done.
There's one phase.
and thank you. Anybody who's ever played this game casually, especially in the any percent run, where you don't have all the powered, like the crazy OP weapons, can tell you exactly how arduous and tedious this boss fight can be because his health bar is just gigantic. So the fact that we have a weapon that can damage him on every single frame is so incredibly useful. That glitch was found by he donated earlier, Lincoln Nito. He found it just
まあどの
completely
ゲームも火炎
accidentally.
放射器は
He had
ね
a
意外
run
と
that was,
強いですか
like
ら
on its deathbed, and he just bought the Pyrocitor just because.
Phase 2. all
Phase
right.
2. He bought the
Oh.
Pyrocitor just because, and there's a video because he's in French. He's just like swearing up and down in French. He's like, "Oh my god! Like, how did I like?" He had no idea what happened, and so that was the discovery of the Pyrocitor glitch. And so this is the final section up here. There's a timer that's gonna tick down from 30, I believe, and I'm gonna try to hit him before it hits 0. There's a button right there. If I screw up, I can hit that button to save myself. I'm gonna try to one cycle him here.
You got this.
I believe.
Yeah, you got this
Give me
one
bomb,
cycle.
please.
We don't need that button at all.
Doom bots, I hate you. He gave me bad RNG, but it's okay. I can still work with this.
So again, he needs to be close range for that flamethrower to work. So.
Yeah, I need to be right up in his face.
強いな
It doesn't work unless I'm directly against him.
Yeah, if this hits 0, we're done.
We're close.
10.
We're getting there.
We got it.
Come on. Come on.
Oh.
Yeah. Time is coming up very soon.
And time is up in 3, 2, 1, time.
Woo!
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
So,
Did we lose Clank
Excellent
here?
job.
Does he die? Does he come back in the sequel?
Oh, cool.
no, he never comes back. They just changed it to Ratchet after that. So yeah, 1:07:05. That's a really good time. If that had been anybody else, that would have been second place. I have world record with a 1:02 actually, like a 1:02:35.
Which was an insane.
That's
Yeah.
insane considering how many things you nailed first try that are
Yeah.
impossible. And that was still,
And that's the big thing. My estimate was 120. Back when I submitted this, my PB was a 112. And so since then, I've just been knocking down the time by almost 10 minutes. So that's pretty wild. And just to check at the end here, 40 out of 40. There we go.
Got all
nice.
the gold bolts.
Oh
You ain't getting any gold weapons though.
And no skill.
No skill.
No
skill.
skill points,
Not at
man.
all.
Zero skill.
All right, so I guess I'm doing the donation incentive now. I just need like a second to warm up because I haven't been able to. It's hard to find privacy in a hotel. So I'm going to warm up just a little tiny bit before. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Oh, actually, hold on. Quick shout outs to all the chillest boys, especially Vortex and Sippy for being my coaches. People who found tricks, Cinna, Nano Hala guys for being a crazy task machine. Yen, Sneepy, all the people I shouted out earlier. To these guys on the couch.
I was waiting for it. I mean, come on. We're right here.
And thanks to all you and all the people watching at home. Yeah, for real. Really, really appreciate it. This wouldn't be as cool as it is without you guys there to watch.
なるほど
Really appreciate that. So, yeah, on to the donation incentive I go.
で今ドネーションインセンティブでなんかあったらしくって、それをやるんですけど、ちょっとね、ちょっと移籍してちょっと戻ってきますと。
Logarithm donates $20 and said, "This Ratchet and Clank speedrun was ratchet and dank." Demon Fire donated $50 and says, "Donated during Ratchet and Clank because the couch is great. This was a super entertaining run."
そしてマリオ。
Drew Jukes donates $50 and says, "Woke up just in time to watch some of the first game I ever played get broken wide open. Been watching these events for a few years. Love seeing these games run for a good cause. Good with the run." Anonymous donated $50 and said, "Had to donate during my favorite game growing up. Insane to see something that took me so many hours to be completely destroyed." And now it looks like... Oh, no. Water first.
はい、はい、こんにちは。ハロー、クールブルー。そう、じゃあ。
People hear me. Okay, so okay, a few things before I start. First off, so this is Nessun Dorma from the opera Turandot or Turandot, depending on how people pronounce it, by Puccini. This is normally supposed to be done by a tenor. I'm not a tenor. I'm a baritone. I transposed it a minor third down. So, but it's still really, really high. So if I crack, I'm sorry.
歌うっぽい。
Number two, I'm going to have the lyrics in front of me because I've never performed this in front of people before. Like I said, it is a tenor aria. I have no reason to ever know this or sing it. So y'all better be appreciative. Thank you. Thank you. And finally, you know, if you like it, if you don't like it, especially if you don't like it, make sure you comment, go on the YouTube channel after this VOD's uploaded, and make sure that you put any criticisms. I will read all of them, every single one of them. Every single time I always do one of these, I always check. There's always one dude who's like, "Yeah, well, you know what? Like, this guy isn't really that good," and like, I'm just like, "Oh, his breathing patterns are all off." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? What do you want?" So anyway, that being said, here is Nessun Dorma. Nessun dorma, nessun dorma, tu pure, o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza, guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me, il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no, sulla tua bocca lo dirò quando la luce splenderà ed il mio bacio scioglierà il silenzio che ti famiglia di lengua notte tramontate stelle tramontate stelle all'alba vincerò vincerò vincerò.
That was Nessun Dorma speedrun by Zem in 1 minute and 20. Oh, wait. That wasn't speedrun. Tuxedo Ted donates $150 and says, thanks for promoting such a worthy cause. The next game coming up is Jack 2, any percent, with Sikinar. We have a $100 donation from Helpery, who says, love this event and watch every year. Good luck to all the runners, and shout out to my wonderful fiancée, Lauren, who makes watching this even more fun. Also, who's that cool guy on the mic, Winky Face? Well, my name is Extra Toppings, and I'm a little worried that you don't know who I am, considering I'm the best man in your wedding, Helpery. Blank Sal donates $100 and says, I love you. This donation also goes to Bare Necessities for the Kingdom Hearts 2 songs. Speaking of incentives, fun incentives we have coming up for Kingdom Hearts 2 later is you can choose a song to be sung. There's Mulan 2, or Mulan, I'll Make a Man Out of You is currently in the lead. There are also level 1 fights you can donate towards. There's the level 1 Sephiroth fight, which is about $5,000 away from meeting its goal, and the level 1 Lingering Will fight, which is just under $5,000 away. If you donate to those, you'll get some great level 1 fights. Allison L donates $25 and says, SGDQ makes going into work way too hard. Well, hopefully you can watch while you work. Neil100 donated $50 and says, after watching GDQs for the past few years, I'm delighted to be able to make my first ever donation, while one of my favorite childhood games is desecrated by one of my favorite runners. It's so humbling to see what a force for good the gaming community can be when we work together. Thanks to everyone involved for all their hard work this week, and Doctors Without Borders for saving lives. Speaking of which, save the animals. Brian Allgeier donates $50 and says, thanks for doing this. It's great to see Ratchet & Clank played for such a great cause and in a way we never would have imagined when we made the game 15 years ago. What an impressive speedrun. Congrats. Fuzzy Pickles donated $150 and says, greetings all. This is my 5th year of GDQ.
いいですか、
Watching
皆
these
さん。
games destroyed so masterfully never gets old.
ドネーションインセンティブにありました。
Getting all 32 photos during the Earthbound run.
はい。
Congratulations and good luck to all runners, and thank you for volunteering your time for such a great cause. Gotta go fast.
ビットの方のドネーションインセンティブで$8,000でさっきの歌を歌うっていうのがありまして、あれ 確かね、プッチの、まあ、最初説明したんですけど、プッチーニのトゥーランドットの中のアリアです。アリア、アリアで、あれ、男性が歌う歌なんですよ。ごめん、ちゃんと解説聞いて思い出すのに時間かかった。そうそう。で、ネッサムドルマっていうのが、まあ、もともとの名前なんですけど、日本語には誰も寝てはならぬっていう放題がついてます。で、これは、そうそう、有名なやつなんですよ、これ。気になる人はプッチーニのトゥーランドット多分 YouTube にもあると思うんですけど、そういうのトゥーランドット見てみればわかるんですけど、第3幕でこれがあるんですね。そのなんだっけ、トゥーランドットの話がなんだっけ、さすがに調べるか。ダメだ、出てこねえや。じゃあ、ウィキペディア丸読みしますけど、そのカラフっていう、まあ、名前の知らない王子がカラフっていうのがいるんですけど、まあ、それがね、そのトゥーランドット姫と結婚するためにその出された難題を解決したんですね。3つ日本の視聴者にメッセージかもしれないですね。夜だからね、こっちはね。で、まあその難題をかぐや姫みたいなもんです。かぐや姫みたいなもんで、その3つの難題全部解決したんだけど、そのトゥーランドット姫は結婚するのが嫌だ、なんか嫌な感じがしたんですね。それでね、でその王子が自分の名前をその夜明けまでにその当てれば、その結婚を諦めて僕は命を捧げようと言うんですけど、でももし名前を解き明かせなかったら、姫はそれを認めなきゃ、その結婚することを認めなきゃいけないっていう。で、そのお姫様がその国の国民に対して、その王子の名前を解き明かすまでは一切寝るなっていう話を出すんですね。で、もし誰もそれを解き明かすことができないかったら、その国民全員皆殺しにするっていう話があるんですよ。で、そこからまあ始まって、その最初にその王子が、男性がそのさっきのネーサンドルマを歌うんですね。誰も寝てはならぬ。
Jingo Django donated $250 and says, "Love what you guys do and just wanted to give what I could. Thanks."
これはね、確かね、パバロッティが歌ってたはずですよ。確か有名なのはパパロッティ版なのは俺は覚えてる。で、だからそのサッカーと関わりがあるんですよね。サッカーで聞いたことがあるっていうのは、その三大テノールで、誰だっけ、三大テノール、パパロッティと誰だっけ、補正なんつうんだっけな、忘れちゃったよ。まあ、3人いるんですけど、三大テノールって呼ばれてる人が。で、これ、カレーラス、そうそう、ブラシドとカレーラス、そうそうそう。詳しいですね、皆さんね。で、あとは、確か他のとこでもいろいろ歌われてるんですよね。これ、まあ、本来はテノール歌手、男性が歌うホセメンドーサホセメンドーサはちゃうやろっつって、ただ変えないと、タイトル変えないと。ちょっと待ってね、タイトル変えますから。まあ気になる人はね、さっきの誰も寝てはなたる、まあ第3 第3幕だけ見るのも
Toaster 106
いいかもしれないですね。
says, Hey Sicky, your friend Toaster here.
次なんだっ
Good
け。
luck on your run and especially on crew skip. After this, how about that
あ、ワンダ
Mirror
だ
World
ワンダ
run?
ワンダと巨像。
Donation goes to runner's choice. Tehip hello and bless RNG in the chat.
そう
Lance Charleston donates
ビ
$20 and says, Beautiful singing back there.
ビ
10
ットの
out of
まあ
10.
達成額として歌を歌っていう。
All right, and now we have Jack 2 any percent with Sikinar.
気になる人は